Hello to all my fellows around the globe. I greet you all today. Today is the 25th day of the 18th, that is this year. It's good to see all of you again. I know it has been a while since we haven't been sharing, chatting, and doing so many other things that are related to the billion coin, of course. The time now it's 23:35 p.m. South African time, or you can say it's the 11:35 p.m. South African time. I know many of you are up by now. Some they are preparing themselves to retire. Some they are preparing themselves to go to work, and not forgetting our children. I mean, the students are also preparing themselves to go to school. But it's good to see all of you, though I don't see many of you on the top chat currently, but I can see the number. It's telling me that we have current viewers. Okay, so today we will be sharing our part 8 of that heading. We did have the first one, the second one, the third one, right up to the 8th one today. We shared a lot of things. Some things are related to our mission and the current updates, where we started and where we are now, and where are we heading from here. So there's so much. I hope many of us accumulated more info and knowledge from the blog, of course, since we know that on daily basis we have some information and updates from the blog. So it is the duty and responsibility of every member in the Billion Coin community to visit that blog and learn what has been posted on that particular day. We have videos, we have articles, we have posters. We have a lot. Also, not forgetting the public notice, because it has everything about TBC. That is the core on who exactly is TBC. And if you want to know deeper, understand why is TBC conducting all its affairs the way it's doing, then you go to the public notice. Sometimes you won't grasp much at the first go, but you have to keep on reading the whole 7 pages in order to get familiar with the operation that I've already mentioned within this billion coin. It is not attached or associated with the other markets, but it's private. Like some they say it's a private entity, some they say it's a private community. Yes, it's true. So the document itself, with 7 pages, of course, explains that. So, but if you don't go through it, then you won't understand. Our way of explaining things, sometimes we don't explain the same, but at the end we will be meaning the same thing. Okay, so so I encourage you to go on the blog and study the public notice. Okay. Then next is how exactly are we conducting ourselves currently, before now, and some from the beginning, of course. So we need to get into that, share some things there, because there are so many things happened. People were some people, not everyone, of course, were left with questions. Okay. Some felt that their questions were never answered. Of course, it will depend which questions were those. But if some of the questions were already answered by the admin and through the blog, so we cannot dwell on that because we have things to focus on from where we are. Since we all know that TBC currently it's in the process of building itself up, or we can say it's on the building phase. Okay, you might add by saying it's on the distribution phase, of course. So there's a reason behind that. We know that before we reach 1 billion, we have to plow something. We have to make people understand, especially those who are not on board as yet, but we have to make them understand that who we are exactly and why are we doing what we're doing and why are we not doing what others are doing. Okay. So it requires a thorough explanation in order for one to understand and get informed, not convinced about us, but to get an understanding of exactly what is this. Yes, at the end, there will be questions and comparisons with other markets. That's why I'm doing this, why we are doing that. But I've already touched that our blog answers most of the questions. Okay. So now, I have been a member in this community since from 2016, in the early days. I remember when I came on board, TBC coins were still cheaper in price by then. So I managed to grab myself something just like others, of course. And then we went on right up to the end of 2016. That was after the elections of TBC in South Africa. Then we go beyond that right up to meaning from the end of 2016 now towards the first year anniversary of TBC. That was 2017. And we moved on. People were generating cash. Cash flow system was actually there, though it was not called cash flow. But people made a lot of fortunes, and they can actually give good testimonies about that. Some they still do, but at a slower pace now because I think along the way they changed the strategy. They didn't apply what they did before. Well, some they started diverting from the true origin of the strategy. Then that's where now the public became a bit skeptical about this community. That is this true? Oh, no, because some were scammed, some were robbed, some were left without any information. There's quite a lot. Okay. Now, 2017, we had our first anniversary. Everything went well. We went on and on and on, right up to the second anniversary. That was 2018, March again, 21st. And then we celebrated that globally, of course, not just in one particular country. And then here we are today. We are now preparing ourselves for the third anniversary of the billion coin, of course. It's globally also. Okay. But now, some, of course, they are currently cold. Some are still up. Some are moderate. Some they are extreme. I'm glad we still have other fellows, even from Bengali community. We have those who we have started with from 2016, of course. And we still have others from Nigeria, Cameroon, Ghana, Philippines, and other, Papua New Guinea and other lands from around the world. Okay. So now, here's the question now. Those that we have started this mission together from 2016 and they are still on board, can someone tell exactly what has led them to be here or still with us to this day? I think someone can answer that. If maybe you have a comment to share, you can just leave a comment on the top chat. It's okay. We will be very glad to have your contributions or different contributions or comments on the top chat, since when we live stream, it is for the benefit of all those who are already on board and all those who are still preparing to come on board. So, secondly, most of them, they are still on board because they made their own decision and they did not listen to either a friend or loved ones or to make decisions for them, because at the end of the day, one has to make his own or her own decision. You must do your own research before you engage yourself into something or before you make any move. So no one has to force you or make decisions for you. You are the one, you are the final person to make a decision. That is why maybe some of us are still standing, we are still on board with TBC, irrespective of what happened, what is the current status of TBC, where there's so much that has happened. Okay, I'm still here. And now, thirdly, some, they've lost interest because they did not receive something like cashing out. They were expecting something. On that as well, there was a bank story, and you can just go to the blog and retrieve that information. But now, the ones that we have started with from 2016 are still here standing. Now, I think some of us should ask ourselves why. It's a question, and of course, there is an answer already on that. Okay. Next one. At the end of the day, everyone has to make a decision, either negative or positive, but one has to make a decision. Okay. I'm going to make another example. Okay. When you go to crypto world and other altcoin investments, of course, cryptocurrency investments, we have two groups. The first group believes in short-term goals, and the second group believes in long-term goals. Okay, so the first group, in most cases, they don't do a research of things. They don't ask questions. They don't do any feasibility studies about what they're about to engage themselves with. But as for the second group, for an example, Warren Buffett is one of those does the research before he makes any decision, and in most cases, he does an opposite of what others are doing. Of course, most of you who are familiar with his way of doing things, they'll understand me. Okay, so they make decisions after they've done their research investigation, and they will study something back and front, side by side, right up to the core, and then from there they will know that from where they are, what will happen in the next coming 3 to 5 years. Okay, but most of the fellows who are getting scammed at the end of the day are on the first group, of course. Right. That was another example that I wanted to make. Now let's come back to the Billion Coin community. I'll like you to hear me clearly on this one. Okay. Some community members were robbed or scammed monies. And those, to this day, they have not received their kringles worth of the amount they have paid to those members who scammed them. Okay. Remember, those who scammed them are currently TBC members, of course. And then on top of that, their KCBO back office were not activated because no fee was paid into their KCBO back office. Okay, that's the reason. And then secondly, when they follow up with those people whom they made dealings with, some of them are no more available on calls or WhatsApp or email. They are nowhere to be found. Okay. Now, these people who are already scammed, they became orphans. Now, of course, they will approach some of us and say, you know, this is the situation. What should you do? We want to redeem, and we were robbed, and etc. Okay. And then this offense, they are in categories. Okay, we have those who are they are not that informed about the systems of investing in cryptocurrencies, traditional networks, MLMs, you know, but they know something, but now they didn't get more information from those who have already taken something from them. And then we have others who did not give themselves enough time to ask questions and do a research about what they are investing in or what they are. We are not an investment company, remember that, but they had this thing in their mind that they are investing something, and then at a given time there will be payout. Okay, admin uses a word by cash out button. You see, so then we have another group, which is the third one. They are above these two, or of course with achievements as well, meaning the level of education. Okay. Yeah, I was saying the third group is above the two with the level of education. Okay. Now, some of these three categories, they even went as far as going to the bank, loaning some monies. Some they took their last budgets from home and gave it to these TBC scammers from this community, of course. Okay, in South Africa, we have those kind of people. Okay. Now, when you go to TBC disclaimer, right at the end, last paragraph, after the last paragraph, there is a saying there. There is a statement. Actually, it's one-line statement in red color. It was asking us members that, are we smarter than the scammers? Now, the question is, before someone pays out money to a scammer, won't it be wise for that person to go through the disclaimer? Or maybe the disclaimer was hidden to them, or they were never told about the disclaimer. It's a two-way road situation. Some they were told, some they were not. You see? But at the end of the day, some were scammed because of their ignorance. Because sometimes, if you trust someone too much, you'll be easily caught up in a situation. You'll be easily be scammed. Okay. We're talking about money here. They've paid out money, and not just $100. Some, they went beyond that. $2,000, $4,000, $5,000. Some, though, they paid those monies in staggered sections. So most of them became orphans. Now they want an intervention of our leadership to help them out. But the question is, who was careless? Because when those transactions conducted, the leadership was never informed. They did that behind closed doors. But some of them, of course, they used to come to our presentations and other TBC gatherings. But when now matters involves money, we were never informed. Now, at the end of the day, we have to do something. Some, we feel for them because they were deliberately scammed. But some, no, they were not. I hope we understand that. Last part one on the same subject. Everyone in this community must take control of his or her credentials, the logins, username, password, security keys, and etc. But as soon as someone takes control of those things, then you'll be easily scammed or robbed. Lastly, these categories of members or community members, some of them can't even log into their own back office and wallets. Some, they can't even log into their own emails because someone is taking control of that. But you know what? At the end of the day, our leaders, they stood up and did something about that. They liaised with the admin, and the admin advised what to do with those kind of situations. But really, it was careless, because when I joined in 2016, I took care of my private keys to this day. I didn't allow someone to take control of my private affairs or private keys, you know. So I said it's a two-way road situation. By saying this, I mean, this month, it's a mad month. It's a crazy season. Some are still scammed in TBC community. They were promised to cash out from the 1st of November. I never knew anything about it. What I know is the redemption period that is commenced on the 1st of November. And now recently there were votes that about the date, meaning the last date of redemption. Of course, more votes went to the third vote because they were categorized. There was the first one, second one, and the third. The last one, meaning January. Okay, you know the date. If you don't know the date, you can always visit your back office in the blog. Okay, so that's what I know. It's a redemption period. We will be having another one in May. That's what I know. But about the cashing out, no, I don't know anything about it. So there were some TBC presentations around, you know, people went there, but it wasn't too good, because when they asked questions, they were not given answers. And it is not all about having a bigger number in the presentation or attendance, okay? But the question is, if it's a bigger number, what exactly has hooked those communities? Okay, let's come back to the smaller numbers. Smaller numbers with understanding, bigger numbers with no understanding. These are two different groups. Can you see that? And at the end of the day, the bigger number are the ones who will be offense at the end of the day. So something is not right there. What exactly are we pulling here? Are we busy convincing people about cashing out? Or on that, are we turning those communities into economy slaves, in brackets, meaning to be our buyers continuously without them learning about TBC system? We are not here to create followers, but we were, and we are still, and we are forever building and creating leaders, not followers. And many referrals or prospectors were never told about certain things. And also, they were never taught about how to be active in this community, how to become a builder. And we do have a number of broadcasters, but they are not enough. And we hardly see an added number of broadcasters, not on daily basis, but weekly. We still see the same faces. So something is not right. And we can't ignore that because we know that something is going on, something is not right. So teach your prospectors or referrals what is right and what is involved in this community. They must start reading, they must start following the right path, the right things about TBC, and they must understand it. What is it exactly? Because questions were asked to those who were claiming to be good presenters of TBC, but answers were not given to our communities in South Africa, some places, Pretoria, Hammanskraal, Soweto, and other places, in KZN as well. Those are places in South Africa. So answers were not given, then something is not right. It is not up to the leaders globally to spoon feed people or to force people to learn about TBC. But they were taught enough from the early days to this day. So it is up to individuals, leaders, builders, broadcasters now to do what? To take that information further or message further and build leaders, not followers. Because at the end of the day, when you look around, it's all about using TBC to do what? To make money through the $100 or even more. At the end of the day, answers are not given. So exactly where are we heading here? Are we exactly building this community with an understanding, or are we mixing things? Are we blending TBC with other markets? I think the answer is obvious. Everyone can answer that. Now, let's move to the last subject now. Remember, our heading today was all about sharing. That is part 8. We have other parts from 1. You can retrieve those and replay them whenever you have a moment. They are here online. And again, thanks for all those who are currently viewing our live stream. Yeah. Now, there were other endeavors around the world, and some they took some time before they mature. For an example, Bitcoin. And then we have others who broke away from Bitcoin. In brackets, we call those fork, F-O-R-K, fork. As soon as there's a breakaway from Bitcoin, that will be a fork, okay? For example, Ethereum, Bitcoin Gold, you know. So, but they're still cryptocurrencies. The difference is that Bitcoin, it's not as fast as Ethereum. Ethereum, for confirmation and other things, is faster than Bitcoin, of course. Then we have quite a lot. Then we have altcoins. Those are not part of cryptocurrencies. They are not part of cryptocurrencies, of course, but there's something else. You can just read through about it. The Ripple, for instance. Okay. Now, it took some time for other cryptocurrencies to build up or to be where they are. Okay. Now we have seen that and we've experienced that. There is a history already about that. So from my side, TBC, it's still the same. Meaning, I'm not saying it's still the same about transacting or the type of community and the coin. No. I mean, the process is the same. It will require some time to build up. And what will actually speed up that process is the members who are involved and who are following the what? The guidelines, working together jointly and with respect and love. But if there's no respect, everything will fall away. Okay. So some, of course, they have doubts now that is this thing real? Will this work? When I give an answer to that, I can only give an individual answer as Lawrence, okay? Not on behalf of others, but as Lawrence, okay? Let's assume that it's an example, okay? Let's say some are saying TBC is a scam, TBC, is this real? Okay, fine. I will listen to those questions. But at the end of the day, because of the experience and what I saw with Bitcoin, I'll allow myself some time to do what? To see further developments in TBC. Meaning I'll give TBC a chance. It doesn't matter how long it takes. Because many of us, we have already started with TBC and we saw quite a number of changes to this day. So why can't I allow them to put some things in place? Because they know the system better than I and the rest of you, of course. When I say the rest of you, I'm talking about over 3.3 million. We don't know more than the admin at the end of the day, because they are the creators of what? The billion coin. So I will allow them meaning to do what they can in order to reach our goal in this community. That's how I can reply as Lawrence, not on behalf of anyone. I don't know how would you do or how would you answer that one? I don't know. But Lawrence, this is what I'm saying. Okay. Why will I do that? It's because I did give other programs, online, offline. I did give them a chance to prove themselves, to build up something for the benefit of communities. That's what I did. So why can't I do the same with the billion coin? That's a question. I also wanted to cash out, from those programs before TBC was born. I'm a networker. I traded a lot of things: stocks, forex, binaries, altcoins, cryptocurrencies, and I gave them a chance. Some of them, they went away with our monies, and it's the name of the game. But I'm not saying TBC will do the same. But some of those didn't go away. We managed to reap something. Yes, TBC since I managed to give those other ones a chance, I'll also give TBC a chance. I don't know what would you do or what would you say. Okay. So this is what I wanted to share with you today. Though my times are flexible, I'm not forever here. I'm so held up. There's so many things happening. The cash flow trainings in South Africa, Soweto, and other places. Sometimes it's one-on-one online. It depends, but every day it's a busy day. So today I said, no, let me pass by and share with you. But I do visit other live streams, of course, whenever I have a moment, maybe 5, 10 minutes to 20. Anyway, let's go to the top chat. Marilyn Akwi, thanks again for being here with us, and the rest of those who are currently watching, meaning our viewers. We will have to say goodbye now. Our time in South Africa is 15 past midnight. That's AM. It's Monday today. But I'm going to have to say goodbye for now. And then whenever I have a moment again, I will be sharing with you. And thanks again to our Bengali Tibetians for their invitation that we were invited as guests to their St. Martin meeting on Tuesday. And it will be the three of us. Stephen will be there, and Femi from Nigeria will also be a guest in the St. Martin. Thanks again, brothers. We are together. I know that some of you, we were together from 2016, and thanks again for thinking or for stretching your hand to our jungles so that we can be invited in your live stream broadcast or St. Martin meeting. And thanks for now. We're looking forward to see more of new broadcasters in this community. That will be a great thing. And thanks again. Bye for now.